You are not stuck, you're domesticated, trained by routine, shackled by emotion, chained by yesterday. You wake and the leash is already tight. You obey patterns you didn't choose. You play roles you didn't write, and you call that life. Today we strip the leash. This is not motivation. This is not consolation. This is a declaration of policy for power. I give you 7 techniques. Each is a weapon. Each is an order a prince would issue before war. Make no mistake, you are at war with distraction, with cowardice, with the petty habits that keep you ordinary. Use these techniques and the program that has been running you starts reporting to you. You stop being the subject, you become the sovereign. Machiavelli said fortune favors the bold, foundations secure the state, appearances command loyalty, and fear enforces order. The same rules govern your mind. Rule it with laws and arms, or be ruled by the chaos within. Below, 7 commands. Read them, learn them, enact them. The first law, command the gate. What if I told you the first hour of your day decides who rules, you or your distractions? At dawn, the throne is empty. Someone will seize it. The only question is, will it be you? Or will you hand it over to scraps of code, digital parasites, and the pathetic impulses of a weak mind? Seize the first hour. Dictate the day. Your mornings are not routines. They are coups d'état. Either you rise as sovereign of your own state, or your phone, your feed, and your habits overthrow you before you've even stood up. Power at dawn compounds into power at dusk. Now be honest. How do you usually wake? Do you reach for your glowing leash, scroll through endless feeds, and choke down recycled outrage, envy, and fear? That is not beginning the day. That is being conquered by it. You have already surrendered the gate before battle has even begun. Pathetic. Machiavelli warned, there is nothing more difficult than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things. Dawn is your new order. Just as a prince must lock and guard the gates of his city before enemies creep inside, you must secure the first hour. Because any city that loses its gates is not a city. It is a carcass waiting to be picked apart. In today's terms, if the first 60 minutes of your life are captured by algorithms and impulses, then the rest of your day is occupied territory. Once distraction and weakness invade, they do not leave. They rule you. But if you own the gate, nothing enters without your permission. So, how do you seize the gate like a prince? 3 decisive strikes. First, the airplane mode protocol. Your phone stays in exile. Flight mode until your sovereignty is established. No exceptions. A prince does not swing open the gates to strangers before his defenses are set. Second, the 3 non-negotiables. State reset. 5 to 8 minutes of nasal breathing, spine tall, shoulders down. Presence begins with the body. Weak posture is a public declaration of surrender. Cognitive priming. 10 minutes, pen to paper. Write 3 decisive moves. Ask, if I ruled today as a state, what would I secure? Strategy before battle. Body signal. 8 to 12 minutes of strength or mobility. Raise your pulse. Prove to yourself physically that you are alive, strong, and unyielding. Third, open the gates. Last, only after you are fortified do you face the world. By then, you answer not as a servant, but as a sovereign. Picture 2 men. One wakes, grabs his phone, scrolls like a peasant, and drowns in noise. The other breathes, writes, moves, and then strides into the world. By sunset, one is a pawn in another man's game. The other is master of his domain. Own the gate, own the ground. He who commands the first hour does not just govern the rest of the day. He positions himself to govern others. Internal sovereignty is the seed of external dominion. First, rule yourself, then the world.
Hey guys, we're Wisdom, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
The second law. Exile the mercenaries. What if I told you most of your stress is not real? It's rehearsed. You don't just feel emotions, you keep practicing them like bad actors trapped in the same pathetic play. A thought sparks chemistry. The chemistry convinces you the thought is true. Suddenly you're trapped in a loop. Cut the feedback, break the body's veto. Now. Stress isn't an accident, it's a habit. A training regimen you run on repeat. Every time you obey the panic, you strengthen it. You forge an identity around it. You crown a liar. But the moment you sever that loop, the whole castle of illusion collapses. Be honest. How many times have you treated arousal as evidence? A knot in the gut becomes proof. A racing heart becomes certainty. You do not have emotions. You obey them. And when you obey, you abdicate. You hand your crown to a hired sword. Pathetic. Machiavelli called mercenaries useless and dangerous. He was merciless for a reason. They are expensive, unreliable, and they betray you in crisis. That is what unchecked emotion is. Mercenaries, hired swords, costly, disloyal, and absent where true strength is required. A wise prince does not trust them. He arms himself, not with mood, but with method. So stop hiring feelings to fight your battles. Stop outsourcing command to panic and adrenaline. Procedures win where passion fails. When the body panics, the ruler in you must stay cold. The world respects the steady hand, not the trembling one. Here's how a Machiavellian does it. First, label and localize. 10 seconds, name it plainly. This is anxiety. It sits in my chest. Naming shoves the animal brain aside. It moves power to the commander's desk. Second, physiology override. 60 to 120 seconds. 6 to 10 slow exhales. Longer out than in. Eyes fixed on a stable horizon. Tell your body, the gates are secure. Stand down. Adrenaline bleeds away. Panic loses its voice. Third, counter-evidence prompt. 90 seconds. Write one hard fact that contradicts the catastrophe. Force a trial. Expose the lie. Facts amputate fantasy. Fourth, micro-exposure. One small move. Open the document. Dial the number. Send the email. Action kills speculation. A prince does not debate fear. He executes despite it. Fifth, the cool-down phrase. Whisper it like law. State is a weather system. Policy remains, feelings pass. Policy lasts. Repeat, proceed. Now, picture two men. One bows to fear, cancels the meeting, avoids the task. He strengthens the mercenaries. The other feels the fear, names it, bleeds it out with breath, writes the counterfact, takes one step forward. By dusk, the difference is obvious. One is shackled, the other is sovereign. Internal mastery is not self-help fluff. It is military logistics. It organizes your will. It sharpens your decisions. It converts hesitation into orders. And when you rule your inner state, you command the outer one. The man who refuses to be governed by panic controls teams. Negotiations fall in line. Competitors fold. Influence follows discipline. Dismiss the mercenaries. Recruit native troops. Rule yourself and the world will answer. The third law, script the throne. Script the ruler. Then become him. Your brain is not neutral. It is treacherous. It installs what you rehearse. Every image you run through your mind is a command to your nervous system. Picture failure, and you program defeat. Picture conquest, and you lay rails toward inevitability. Ignore this, and you will spend your life replaying yesterday's humiliations until they fossilize into your identity. Think carefully. How much of your imagination do you waste on fear? You rehearse rejection, ridicule, and ruin, then bow to those fantasies as if they were facts. You are loyal to a past that never rewarded you. You crown yesterday as king, then whine when tomorrow refuses to change. Pathetic. Machiavelli understood the danger of clinging to the past. A new prince, he said, must found with good laws and good arms. He also warned that men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Appearance precedes belief. Look the part, and they treat you as the part. The rehearsal of sovereignty is both. It forges your inner arms, your neural readiness, and it projects the appearance that forces others to recognize your rule. So what would a Machiavellian do? He would rehearse the sovereign he intends to be until the role swallows him whole. He would practice the posture, the speech, the iron presence, until no one can imagine him as anything else. Sovereignty rehearsed becomes sovereignty imposed. Here's how you seize it. First, the identity line. Write one sentence in the present tense. I am the kind of man who walk every day. No fluff, no poetry. Ship one hard thing. Guard mornings. Speak without apology. Keep it sharp. Second, the 5-minute cinematic. Eyes closed. Stage the scene in brutal clarity. Your stance, your clothing, your face as others look on. Then install the emotion. Calm, certainty, fire. The nervous system cannot distinguish rehearsal from reality. It will adapt to what you demand. Third, one daily proof. Action is coronation. Send the pitch. Lift the weight. Decline the trivial. Deliver one act each day that proves the script is law. Fourth, binary scoring. At day's end, the ledger is cold. 0 or 1. Did you deliver the proof? No excuses, no stories. Sovereignty is not graded, it is absolute. Fifth, the Friday upgrade. Increase the difficulty by 10 to 20%. A prince grows his state under pressure. Identity hardens only when tested under load. Now ask yourself, what are you rehearsing? Weakness, doubt, panic, or sovereignty? Every thought is a soldier. Every image is training your army. Tomorrow you will march to battle. Will you arrive with peasants or with legions? Remember this: what you rehearse, you rule. Repetition is coronation, and the prince who scripts himself with precision forces the world to bend in recognition. First, rule your theater of mind, then rule the stage of history. The fourth law: rule by respect, not affection. You've been poisoned since birth with the lie that power comes from being liked, that approval is the path to influence, that affection is security. Nonsense. Affection is fragile, love is fickle, but fear binds, fear compels, fear endures. Look at your own life. How often have you bent your spine, softened your words, or wrapped your commands in excuses just to be liked? Did it win respect? Never. It won contempt. It marked you as weak. And the ones you tried hardest to please, they were the first to exploit you. Affection did not protect you, it made you prey. Machiavelli spoke without mercy. It is much safer to be feared than loved, if one has to lack one of the two. Why? Because love depends on the weather of others' moods. Fear depends on you. It is in your control. So what would a Machiavellian do today? He would abandon the pathetic hunt for validation. He would project competence, decisiveness, and steal clarity, even if it unsettles the herd. Better to be trusted, respected, even quietly feared, than dismissed as agreeable. Here's how fear becomes a weapon. Set boundaries. Ruthlessly, when you say no, do not explain. A prince does not justify sovereignty. Speak decisively, clear, short, final. No hedging, no maybe, no permission-seeking tone. Stay cold in conflict. Anger reveals weakness. Controlled firmness chills the room and etches respect. Punish rarely, but memorably. Correct disloyalty once with precision, so no one dares repeat it. Affection evaporates. Fear endures. But fear alone is blunt. To rule completely, you must craft the mask. The fifth law, wield the mask. Power is perception. People do not care what you truly are. They care what they see. Truth is too sharp for most eyes. Appearances outrank reality. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. And yet, you still cling to the naive hope that merit alone will speak. That your work, your talent, your raw truth will carry the day. Foolish. Naked truth goes unnoticed. Without theater, strength is invisible. Without the mask, power slips through your hands. A Machiavellian would master the stage. In business, in politics, in society, optics dictate truth. The crowd believes what it sees, and what it sees, it obeys. Here's how to forge the mask. Strategic silence. Say less. Mystery multiplies gravity. Symbols of authority. Clothing, voice, setting, every detail is a weapon. Command with optics. Virtue in public, ruthlessness in private. The world sees virtue. The throne sees steel. Never over-explain. Silence forces others to invent reasons to respect you. He who controls appearances controls belief. He who controls belief controls obedience. So remember the twin laws of sovereignty. Rule by respect, not affection. Wield the mask, not the naked truth. Affection evaporates, fear endures, and the mask you wear becomes the crown they kneel to. The sixth law. Conquer fortune, bend chance to your will. Fortune does not smile on the passive. She does not kneel to the hesitant. She bends only to those who strike first, who act while others are paralyzed. History makes this clear. Chance is not neutral. It rewards the bold, the prepared, the merciless. And yet you blame luck for your weakness. You excuse your cowardice with talk of timing. You hide behind the fantasy of perfect change conditions. You say, when the moment is right, then I'll act. That is not patience, that is rot. Decay disguised as prudence. Fortune does not wait. She abandons the hesitant. She kneels only to the one who seizes. Machiavelli spoke without apology. Fortune is a woman, and if you wish to master her, you must conquer her by force. Translation: opportunity is not wooed. It is ravaged. The timid are left gnawing on scraps, while the bold carve empires from chaos. So how does a modern prince weaponize fortune? By acting before the crowd even knows what's happening. When uncertain, move. A wrong step can be corrected. Hesitation cannot. Hesitation rots. Exploit hesitation in others. When rivals pause, strike. Seize the initiative while they deliberate. Calculate, then execute. Strategy without action is cowardice in a mask. Iterate with speed. The first draft may be ugly, but speed sharpens. Perfection is too slow. Think of your own life. How many chances slipped through your fingers while you sat waiting for clarity? And how often did someone bolder and dumber walk away with the prize simply because he dared where you stalled? Fortune is not a gift. It is a battlefield. She belongs to the aggressor. Remember this. The man who conquers his own hesitation conquers the hesitations of everyone else. Internal boldness becomes external advantage. The one who moves first commands the game board, dictates the pace, and rules the outcome. Fortune kneels only to the bold. If you will not seize her, another will. The seventh law: fortify before you expand. The fastest way to collapse is to grow too quickly. A weak foundation cannot bear weight. A hollow empire crumbles the moment pressure arrives. Power built on borrowed strength, on others' favor, shallow alliances or fleeting applause may glitter for a season, but it shatters at the first true test. And here is where you often fail. You rush to display success before you've built the discipline to sustain it. You chase scale before you've built structure. You chase applause before you've built authority. Then, when strain comes, it all collapses. You didn't fail because your vision was wrong. You failed because your ground was rotten. Machiavelli stripped it down to bone. The principal foundations of all states are good laws and good arms. Translation: a ruler cannot lean on luck or borrowed strength or the goodwill of others. He must create order within and power without, laws to govern, arms to defend. Without these, the state is already lost. So translate this to your life. Whether it is business, career, or personal sovereignty, foundations come first. Systems before scale, defenses before display. Without them, success is nothing but decoration awaiting demolition. So what would a Machiavellian do? He would build systems, not slogans. Daily rituals that govern mind, body, and work, even when willpower falters. Discipline automated, sovereignty on autopilot. He would stock reserves, money saved, energy guarded, alliances prepared, power that cannot be stolen. He would cut dependencies, no reliance on bosses, partners, or luck. Independence first, expansion second. He would expand only from strength, slowly, deliberately, strategically. Growth only when the core is unshakable. Ask yourself, are you racing to decorate a house of sand? Or are you fortifying a fortress of stone? Are you parading strength or manufacturing it? Machiavelli would remind you, without arms and laws, there is no state. Without foundations, there is no self. And remember this, he who fortifies within gains the power to dominate without. Build your fortress, then expand your borders. First, make yourself unbreakable. Then, make the world bend.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the resources and the original books we used today. We'll see you in the next one.